Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Restore to Explore. Today, we're working on a Toyota Troopy. This thing needs a lot of work. Alright, so this is going to be a single episode build series. This isn't mine, this is a mate of mine's, and he's conscripted me to do a bit of work. This thing has had a bit of a tough couple months. It got a bit stuck forward driving, and then in recovering it, had the front bull bar ripped off. There's just a lot of mechanical stuff that needs to be fixed. It's got some electrical gremlins going on. Needs some suspension work as well, so we're going to be digging into that. So this is something a little bit different to the normal Holdens and stuff, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's dive straight in. First thing we're going to be doing is sorting out the 12-volt system. When he bought the car, it had this dual battery setup. It's got two different batteries in here with a dual battery little controller in there. But there's wires going everywhere. He doesn't really need the second battery at the moment because there's nothing to really utilize it for inside the car. And the wiring is just a mess. We're just going to strip it all back, get it reliable to be a good kind of building platform to go forward from and do things right. So we're going to get in, we're going to take both these batteries out, I'm going to load test them, make sure that they're all right. And then if the big one's all good, it will go back in. We'll neaten up all the wiring and go from there. Crank. Okay, car still starts. That is a lot better than what we had before. Alright, this is actually exciting. So we've got some pretty cool parts here. We've got some steady 7-inch LED headlights. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Driver lights. Okay, so I've just cut out this section of the floor mat because it was pretty shagged, and there's a couple of rust repairs that have been done in the past here, haven't been painted properly, and they're starting to corrode again. And there's also a big hole up in the floor here, and all of this is getting a bit weak. So I'm going to grind out that area there and just sand back all this, give it a good coat of probably just a zinc coating, and I'm going to weld in just a little plate just there. I've just painted over. I forgot to get a video before I painted it, but I've got that plate there, another one beneath that, and then this one in. You can kind of see that one there, and then I had to go over this plate that someone else has put in, and that plate in that bottom corner. And we're not actually going to be putting a floor back over this. It's just going to get rubber floor mats so that it's easy to clean underneath. So, new seals all the way around, new window regulators because the old ones were flogged, and the windows, you had to push them up and then leave them there, otherwise they would fall down. They had really dark tint on these windows, like super illegal, it was like 5%, and it was impossible to see out of night, so I've just pulled the tint off for now, so we'll be able to see. Put most of the interior back together as well. I've left some of it apart because once the horn gets here and some other stuff, I need to wire all of that stuff in, but I've rewired the gauges so they work properly now. I've pulled out the carpet from the ceiling. I've also done some stuff with the battery system. Alright, so we were having starting problems, and I load tested the battery that was in here, and it came up okay, but that was after we charged it on a charger overnight. The next day, it lost half of its cranking capacity, so it wasn't keeping charge, and that was when it was disconnected. So what I've done is I've gotten 2 new light commercial batteries. These are actually second-hand that we had lying around, but they're in really good nick. And I've wired them up in series, so still 12 volt, but both of these are now being used to crank. Before, one of these was an auxiliary battery, and they had a starting battery, and it was all a mess. Now, these are both wired up to start the battery. Now, the starter motor is actually on its way out, but these batteries have just been throwing current into it, and it's been getting it started for now. But from time to time, it will still not go to start, and you have to try and cycle the key a couple times. But this battery system is going to be plenty to start this car, and still enough to run a couple of accessories and stuff when you're camping. Just check out how much these shackle bushes move when I lift the car up on the hoist. Right, so I've pulled the thermostat off, cleaned up this surface here, which was actually leaking out of because that was pretty grotty and there actually wasn't a seal in there, so I'm gonna just slap some gasket goo. And then I pulled this hose out, and all under here it was leaking out because this old hose was absolutely shagged. So I got a new one cut out of some heater hose. I'm just heating it up so I can squeeze it onto that, and I'm just cleaning these up with a wire wheel so it gets a good seal on that as well. So I've just tightened everything up, got that new hose on, new clamps, and now I'm just putting some new coolant in, and we can start this up and make sure it's got no more leaks. There we go. The owner picked up this bull bar for free off Facebook Marketplace, and it's bolted up really well. Someone's adapted it to fit onto a HJ75, and the chassis was a bit bent from when the old bull bar was ripped off. So a bit of heat and drilling out some new holes. I've put 2 bolts in each side, one going long ways, one going across. So this bull bar is mounted really strong now to the chassis. And yeah, I think it looks really good. It's a lot wider than the old one, so it offers a lot more protection for the guards and the side indicators. I've got all of the coolant bled as well now. We've replaced some hoses that were leaking. We've hooked up the horn. The interior is going back together. This thing's nearly done. We've just changed the engine oil and filter. We've just done the gearbox service, transfer case fluid change as well. So got some nice new fluids in there, and changed that steering arm. I'll show you guys that in a second. But the starter motor just rocked up, so I've just got the old one pulled out and got the new one about to go in. There's our old gross one, there's our new one going in. Let's do it. So while I've got this up here, I'm just putting some rust converter and some zinc coating on the underside of the rust repairs I did. And then also the rust repairs of the last person who just left them bare metal, and they've obviously started rusting again. So just wire wheeled them up. They're not too bad, so I'm going to spray some rust converter and then some black zinc to seal it up, and that should stop any further corrosion. So this should start much quicker. Before it sounded like this. Now it should be a lot quicker, so let's see how much quicker. Whoa, that's so good. Alright, so that's all the work that we're doing on the Troopy done. So we've put new headlights, we've got the bull bar on, we've fixed all the coolant leaks, giving it a good service, changed those shackle bushes out, new tyres, new doors, new seals. This thing's gotten a really good once over, so now it's going to be a nice reliable vehicle that my mate can take down the coast, surf trips, go full driving, just enjoy it, not have to worry about things falling apart or not starting or the wiring catching fire. So pretty happy with how it's all turned out. I guess now the only thing left to do is to get the owner's reaction and see what he thinks. What do you reckon?
Well, the steering wheel's straight. It was like that when I dropped it off, so...
It's already 90 degrees better.
Oh, yeah, man. That's weird, there's no knock. Sure you didn't just get another car? Well,
I did, and then I just added a little bit of rust, so it
just painted the rust back on. Oh, dude.
How much smoother does it feel?
Even the engine sounds like it's just like running smoother.
Yeah.
Like it's not like... There's no weird noises coming from the car whatsoever.
It actually feels like it's got...
gear change?
Yeah.
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 Fuck yeah.
Give it some beans. How good's that?
Oh, dude.
Look, your steering wheel's straight.
It's just like the fact that it turns when you like normally I could just go like that and the whole car would just like not move. Like what the hell, man? Actually a different car.
Alright, so that wraps up the Troopy build series. As you can see, the owner's very happy with the outcome, and I'm pretty happy to see that little beast back on the road, and hopefully we can do some videos with it off-road soon. For me, it's time to jump back into this project behind me, which you'll be seeing very shortly. But until then, like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Cheers.